board. So yeah, today we will have a match between eOnzErG and Truacz. This will be our first match, and these are the profiles made by Mr. Han, Fox Han, on the chat. So you probably seen these profiles, but you can see that favorite matchup of Truacz is ZVZ, where eOn likes his ZVT. So let's see how it will help Truacz to play against eOn, because this is very hard beast to play against, definitely.
Yeah, and it should be noted that BSL used to be Truacz's donation league, where Zero would feel really good and he'd make a tournament just so he could give Truacz money. Because he won the first two seasons. It's just like, okay, well, that's like Flash level kind of, but just because the talent pool is so good, obviously it wasn't able to win 3 in a row. Maybe he'll start that if he makes it onto the finals this time. Really legendary. And honestly, I don't know what to expect from this. I would say maybe like I hope it's 3-2 either way. What are your thoughts on this series, Nyokin?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what the outcome is going to be also, and I find it interesting that Truacz actually favorite matchup is ZZZerG versus ZZZerG, because I feel like he's more of a macro player. Not that he has bad micro, because he has amazing micro, but I see his strength in macro play, and eOnzErG, he's got great micro. I'm looking at his favorite matchup is ZZZerG versus Terran. I'm also looking at his favorite player, Quanro. For people that don't know who Quanro is, Quanro, he pulls out some ultimate cheeses. So that I'm kind of worried for Truacz here, because maybe eOnzErG has some really deadly cheese. But even if he doesn't, eOnzErG's Mutamicro is incredible. So is Truacz's. So I'm really looking forward to this. Even though a lot of people don't like ZZZerG versus ZZZerG, when you have top level micro control, it looks amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Every two links matter, every one drone matter, and these players can make it like really look like it matters. Like after losing 2 drones, one of them will use this advantage against another one. So this will be the maps. I should change the overlay. Excuse me, I forgot to do it. But yeah, this will be our first 5 maps. So it will be Roadkill, Sylphid, Seagood Breaker, Eddie, and Aztec. So it's ZVZ maps. So no, they didn't they both banned the 2 players map, which is Benson and Bluestorm.
I would expect that. I mean, when you're playing ZVZ and you're just like, well, why don't we just play on Bloodbath? Like, you don't want the short rush distance 2-player maps, because I think in ZVZ perhaps that is the facet of the map that is most pronounced, just because things are pretty fast. And honestly, ZVZ is a matchup where you can kind of ignore what kind of map it is, because it's a mirror matchup and you're both just trying to kill each other as quickly as you can. So I think on maps that are very tiny, maybe that is more amplified, and that's just what they don't want to experience.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at these picks either, but I am surprised. Where's Heartbeat, man? I've been waiting for this, and we don't get a Heartbeat game like we were promised last week. So maybe Bonneth and Koget will pick that map.
And Noki series.
No shocker here.
Noki series, so Rabbit is also sad.
Yeah, no, I just love both those maps. Actually, a final game on Heartbeat from the semi or quarterfinals. So good. And I would like to get another one of those. But honestly, if you're a pro player, you don't want to go into the finals playing on maps that you are not like 100% comfortable with. So I don't expect to see either one of those maps, but hey, it's cool when they get through sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we are ready to go to the game number 1, if you are ready, guys.
I think we are.
Okay, so this will be our first map. This will be Roadkill, and we are going directly to the first match of the semifinals of the BSL. Let's make a sound. So spawning on the 9 o'clock position as a red Zerg from Poland, we are having Truacz.
That's right, from Cuba, or Belgium, as he likes to say, in the purple, as a Zerg at the 12 o'clock location. This is eOnzErG.
Yes, so it is Zerg versus Zerg. So what build orders do you expect from these players, Mr. Zero?
Oh, I expect that one of them will definitely go 12 pull. I don't expect 9 pull in the first game. I would expect more, maybe because it's best of 5. Maybe I would expect 12 hatch to go for and maybe try to risk with some kind of 12 hatch. But we are already seeing that Truacz is going for the 9 pull. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
please
gonna
go
say
on, Mr.
9
Rapid.
pool is pretty much the litmus test for, like, are you allowed to play this matchup? Like, if you can get away with 9 pool, like, nobody says, hey, you're a new Zerg player, what build should you practice? And they're like, well, you just get really good at, like, 12 hatch. It's like, no, you just die so many times if you try that. I think probably 9 pool and then over pool to try to get, like, a little bit of an edge over that are kind of the ways that at least I see most commonly. And I think a lot of games come down to, like, are you going to get an expansion? Can you defend that expansion? And it looks like that's what eOnzErG's trying to do.
Oh yeah, it looks, and it will be very hard for him to go for this 12 hatch against 9 pull. We will see how Truacz will decide to go for it, because he could go for 6 things and stride for a layer just to skip another link. So maybe this would be the way for eOn to defend it. But and we saw that eOn and that Tai2 was able to defend 9 pull against eOn. I think we've casted it with Rapid on Sylphid, and so it's very interesting. But it's definitely a strategy advantage for Truacz.
Yeah, and on top of it, Truacz has gotten the first scout, so he sees exactly what's going on. eOnzErG's still in the dark. And I remember when we casted together, me and eOnzErG, he was pointing out how you really got to keep this 12 hatch alive, because if you don't, the 9 pulling Zerg will not only have canceled your hatch, but look how ahead his lair is going to be over eOnzErG's.
Yeah, the 6 lings are, whatever. They're going to hit pretty fast. They're going to be really scary. Maybe if you pull some drones and have your lings out immediately, you can hold on. And so that's like check number 1. But you're absolutely right, Nayokin. This lair is over halfway done. And for Truacz, or for eOnzErG, he hasn't even started his yet. So you have to have some fancy drone micro, maybe throw down an Evo chamber for some spores. This game is going to look weird.
Oh yeah, but he's drone dueling very nicely, very nice hold by eOn. Oh, but he's losing a lot of drones overall.
Oh yeah, that last drill was where, like, the bit snapped on him. Did lose quite a few drones, and so already I think eOnzErG's gonna be in a lot of trouble. His links that hatch from the natural are also in a little bit of a rough spot, but because there's only a few lings coming up behind this, I think eOnzErG should be able to stabilize at least against the Zerglings.
Yeah, it looks this way.
I think he'll hold for now, but again, that lair's done for Truacz. Like, even if eOnzErG holds here, he's got to make something happen. He lost a lot of drones. Truacz is in an amazing spot. Basically, he's just got to not die in the next couple minutes, and he'll be good to go.
Yeah, definitely. But the good part is that eOn is still having this second hatchery, so he will be able to make a spores and try to play it for a longer game.
Looks like they are starting to trade off against each other. Oh my god, the Zergling's hatching it exactly, I guess, kind of a second too slow there. eOnzErG barely loses that trade, but at the same time, I think it's time for the mutas to really make a big difference. As soon as the Spire finishes, you're just going to see the fastest mutas on the planet, and it's just not going to look very good if eOnzErG can't either come up with mutas of his own or throw down an Evo chamber pretty soon.
Yeah, and we see no mining gas for eOnzErG. He's all in with these lings. He's got to do something, because Truacz, once he gets those mutas out, there's going to be no counter for him. But look at Truacz. He's doing a backstab also while microing in the middle of the map, just keeping eOnzErG busy. And he's going to get some more drone kills here.
Yeah, and every drone matters here a lot. Oh, very nice drone duel by eOn.
Oh, did he really kill 0 drones? What's the HP on these guys? A couple very, very low health ones, 20 HP on one. So that was very good control there by eOnzErG, but still, he's got a lot to deal with in the form of these mutas on the way.
Yeah, and Truacz is Ling tight now. He's got a sunken up. He's got quite a bit of Lings. He's be able to drone drill when the Lings come in. So this is looking like Truacz's game to lose. And eOnzErG, he's got to go now because it's just going to get worse and worse for him. And there he goes, but I don't think he can possibly break through here.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if he can kill like 4 drones,
Ooh.
it should be fine, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
he
can kill a
Truacz's
bunch of
drone
these
count is
drones.
extremely low.
Yeah, and he's killing. Oh, it's only 2 drones left overall.
Oh my god. How does Eon know? Man, this is one of the best senses you can have as a pro gamer. Is like when you have just barely enough. Because when you think about it, like if you have to have 10% more before you realize you can win, and your opponent has to have less than that, then they're going to be more decisive. They're just going to be a better player. So now we get a chance to see if eOnzErG can deal critical damage on the other side. There's no Spore. It's just now morphing. So these mutas are really going to have a narrow window where they can deal damage. But I mean, they're going to get a lot of it done. These drones are sticking around for some reason instead of running away. I guess he's trying to keep the mutas over the Spore. And it just, wow, that thing morphs so fast. Can he save the drone? Yes,
What
just
a
barely.
micro. But now Eon is making 4 links, so he will not have money. Like, I would like to see him canceling the... Oh, but now he's doing that just to survive, so that's correct. Oh.
I don't think Truacz
yeah.
has a single drone. Look at his main. Look at the supplies. 8 to 3. Oh, he has one drone.
Yeah, he has a drone, and he is just barely... You know, this, I think, yeah, ooh. Oh, he killed the last mining drone
So
there,
it
so
was
that's
like
gonna be
one
way to
link,
do it.
1 link, 1 drone, and 2 mutalisks left for Truacz overall in this game, and he won.
Wow. I think at that point you kind of want to like save some money. I don't know. That's a really stressful way to have that game go. And I think the best player did win that. I thought eOnzErG actually had a critical strategy. That's why I was talking about him just knowing when to run in with a bunch of Lings, kill off all the muta players' drones, and then hopefully have his own to be able to macro out of that. But the mutas were able to just do one better and kill off actually all of Eon's drones. So that 1 drone mining for Truacz actually made a huge difference.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I was talking about like when Naoken asked me what should players do, and there was like I said 12 hatch, but also 9 pool is like the opposite like of 12 hatch. It's like 2 most aggressive, 2 most risky strategies, and both players decided to go for these risky strategies, but both of them decided to go for a different one.
Yeah, and that spawning pool that eOnzErG put down worked against him. Like he had to pull all his drones to the side. They couldn't clump up exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Ling's got tons of kills. Imagine if eOnzErG even had a couple more drones there. Maybe he could get spores up faster. Maybe he could tech to lair at the same time. And we saw the damage he got done on the Truacz. Truacz down to 1 drone. So just maybe a little bit better or a little slight changes in the next game, and easily that could have gone into eOnzErG's favor.
Yeah, definitely. It was a close match after the beginning. Like Eon made it feel like it's still anyone's game for a second at least.
Yeah, I like to think of like, you know, PvP is like when you make like a phone call. It's like pretty average. You know what to expect, kind of, but it's a little bit scary sometimes. Maybe TVT is like writing an email. It's very long and thought out. You've got like paragraphs and clear stages, and then I don't know, like ZZZero is like using Twitter. It's just like you just got to get that dopamine fix. You really just have to find out the next 100 words, because that's all you get. It's gonna be maybe a 20-minute best of 5 here. I don't know, but it is very, very volatile, and I think that's one of the reasons. Like you have people that prefer one of each matchup. Yes, there's people that even like PvP out there. There's dozens of them at least.
Yeah, PvP can be tricky because the river micro sometimes can change a lot. Like we can see some players going for 4 gateways and other players going for double gateways plus river, and it looks like the player with less number of dragoons lose, and then the rivers make magic, and yeah, it's like with the storm.
In truth, there is magic in every matchup. There's a reason that they call it JVZ, because Jaedong was so good at ZVZ, and there's a reason that, like, you know, there are incredible PvP players. There's a reason, you know, well, I guess Flash is kind of that guy that's just better. It's like when Flash plays chess, all of his pawns are queens. It's just like, well, that doesn't seem fair to me. But anyway, there's room for outplays in every matchup. More than just build orders, it's easy to make it kind of seem that way. It's like, well, this guy did this build, and especially in ZVZ because it's so volatile. but you can actually see a lot of skill when it comes to some really clutch decision making.
Yeah, and the next map will be Sylphid. So this is a rather new map from the Pro League, from the Star League. Excuse me, it's from RSL, I think, ASL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it will be our third map. The difference will be that there are no cliffs over there. So overall, it should be a little bit different to hold on if you are going for some kind of greedy build from the mine base.
Yeah.
Yep, but I think this is not an abnormal build. It's a standard build on top of it being Zerg versus Zerg. It's not like you go late game anyways. It's usually just main plus natural. So it's just going to be pretty standard. I think it's going to be very similar to Roadkill. You know, although you're not on high ground anymore, there is that tiny choke, and you can abuse that with Mutiling. So,
yeah, I think honestly, the lack of high ground doesn't really matter as much. Like the number of ranged units that aren't flying that you get in a ZVZ are just. I mean, unless you get really, really late game, I don't know. It's you're not really gonna have you're not really gonna feel that advantage. It's more about like, is there a wall there that the Zerglings can run past? So, yeah, I also want to see how scouting works here, because you can say, oh well, if you don't scout your opponent first, then at least you know where they are. But in ZVZ, like the game's already decided by that point. Like for the most part, you got to find that vision. So it's a little bit easier to scout your opponent first, but obviously. I guess that means it's a little bit harder as well.
Yeah, it can go either way. And if you are ready, guys, we can go.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready. Let's do this before I have like 4 horrible math on air.
Okay, so map number 2 between Truacz and eOnzErG. 1-0 for the Truacz so far. And the map will be Sylphid. So, spawning on the 12 o'clock position as a green Zerg, we are having Truacz.
That's right, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map in the red is eOnzErG, who is down 0-1 in the BSL semifinal best of 5.
yeah, and unlike last game, there is not going to be a good scout for either players. Both players scouting in the wrong direction. So there's not going to be an advantage for Truacz this time. We'll have to see what they're going to pull out this time. I think we're going to see more aggressive builds. I just have a feeling that we might see 9 pull from both players on here.
Yeah, I think after you lose to a 9 pool, you have to realize, hey, my opponent is a guy that is willing to play very aggressively early on. I have to be able to meet that, because he's not going to let me get away with anything super economical. So I totally agree. But, you know, it looks like at least we're going over pools this time. I've seen some over hatches. I don't think that is a really great way to go, but I think for the most part, both players are saying, well, look, you know, what is the most economic I can get without dying to a 9 pool? And over pool is kind of a good way to do that.
Yeah, but also 9 hatchery should be safe enough to defend against 9 pool, but then you have a problem against the Mutalisks, which will be so quick after 9 pool. So it's more like an all-in build from my perspective, going 9 hatch, mass links with 9 hatch.
Ooh.
But yeah,
well, look at what we've got here. I believe it's a
12
12 pool from Truacz and a 12 hatch from eOnzErG. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is pretty good for eOnzErG.
Definitely. He will have 2 larvas more overall, so 2 drones more compared to Truacz. So if Truacz will make 6 links out of 3 larvas, he will have 7 drones mining minerals and 3 drones mining gas, where Aaron will have 3 drones mining gas and 9 drones mining minerals. So in ZV that matters a lot.
Yeah, and this is interesting build orders. As I'm looking at the map, even though I was predicting an aggressive opening, if you look at how the natural is laid out, it's a farther distance, like where eOnzErG, you go downwards. So it's going to be a longer rush distance for Truacz to actually punish eOnzErG. So I guess this is pretty expected here, since you're going to be able to defend the 9 pool or the over pool a lot easier compared to maps like Roadkill. But yeah, eOnzErG with a slight advantage here in terms of build order.
Yeah, so it's going to be just a hatchery after that 12 pool from Truacz, whereas it's before. That's why, yeah, it is only a slight advantage, but this gives us the potential to have both players just because their timings are pretty similar. Actually, I say that right as Truacz is not quite morphed his lair yet. Just waiting on 8 more gas. There it is. There's the instant lair morph. Just maybe a couple seconds slower on that. The only difference, at least for a little bit right now, but let's actually take a look at the drone count. Sorry, this is like the boring part of ZVZ is like, yeah, you actually do have to know who has the better economy. And right now it is about 8 versus 9 for eOnzErG.
Plus, Aeon is mining gas with 3 drones, but Truacz will have significantly faster speed. He almost done his speed when Aeon just started his own, so that's why Aeon is going for Creep Colony probably.
Yeah, and Truacz is looking to put on some pressure here, but remember, eOnzErG's Overlord saw them coming. He's got an exact link count here, so he knows how many he needs to build to deal with these lings. I don't think Truacz is going to get any damage done, but he does have speed. If a couple can run by and get some drone kills, that'd be great for him.
Yeah, eOn still doesn't have speed for another, I don't know, 20 seconds? It's going to be a while. Okay, so we've got at least one pesky drone here for the single drone drill. Okay, it was like, well, I need to deliver these minerals from the main to the natural. And now he's just going to make the Spire. Let's check Spire timings. eOn's actually quite a bit faster. Oh, there it is. So at least for now, I think both players are sort of having a gentleman's agreement that they're just going to play defensively and try to decide the game with Mutas.
What do you think of this Spire placement? I don't think I've ever seen a Spire get placed at the natural. If the natural gets compromised, you know, not only are you going to lose the hatch, now you're going to lose your tech. So this is curious to me why he's putting it there. Unfortunately, Truacz's Overlord is going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there are really no secrets in ZVZ because Overlords just see everything. But I guess it's going to be important to see whether or not the player is attacking or defending with Lings. And right now, Truacz knows that eOn's keeping all of his at home.
Yeah, and after seeing so many drones, Truacz thought that Aeon made these drones, but Aeon just sent them from the main just to bait Truacz, just to bait him that he didn't make all links from all the larvas and he overdroned. And now I think it will be good engagement for Aeon.
Yeah, eOnzErG's got the concave advantage. I don't know about this attack from Truacz, and look how much is left over. Like, he could put on a lot of pressure here. He had what, 15, 1 sunken, and 3 lings will not stop 15 lings. But unfortunately for him, Truacz sees him moving out. He's doing a backstab.
God. What a legend. And eOn skimped on the sunken. He doesn't actually have one, so these lings running in are actually going to do a good job at denying some reinforcements. And even at the very least, he's going to keep more from coming in. Now, there is a sunken at the front here for Truacz, but it's going to be focused down almost immediately. However, the attention does give Truacz the opportunity to at least win the ling battle until one day the reinforcements come through across the map.
Couple lings got into eOnzErG's base.
Yeah, they're trying to kill 1 drone at least, and he's denying a lot of mining time. But Aeon is having also... Oh, but there is a sunken in the main base of Truacz.
Oh no, he's gonna get 1 drone. Is he gonna get the second one? Oh, he gets 2 drones off of that. That's huge. And they're gas drones too.
Yeah, and on top of it, eOnzErG's had to drill on top of his own mineral line. A couple aren't mining. Oh, these Scourge almost got good hits there. So Truacz has, I think, brought it back a little bit. He looked in trouble once he lost all his lings, but eOnzErG also lost a lot of lings, killing that 1 sunken. Not a great trade for him.
And overall, Aeon mines 150 gas more than Truacz, so he should have more gas for the Mutalisks.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, more drones here for Truacz as well. And let's check the mute account. I think Truacz went for a couple more Scourge early on. See if he can get those to connect over the flare.
Ooh,
nicely
done.
So close. Yeah.
But he's killing the drones in the natural. 1 drone, it's always something.
Okay, yeah, wow. Getting in there for the sneaky backstab. And I love where he's keeping his mutas too, because that means that if Truacz shows up in his base, he's going to be able to come in from behind and cut off his retreat path if he has a superior muta count.
Yeah, but there are Scourge sitting in eOnzErG's base just over top of the larva, waiting to pick off whatever pops out. There it is. See you, mute. Wait, what just happened? Both hit, and 1 didn't register.
No. I know I'm bad at math, but 2 Scourge
It should be enough.
That's just what happens.
I've never seen that before.
What?
eOnzErG into the main of Truacz, killing a couple drones. Micro's incredible. Look at this. Oh, he's killing. Uh-oh. Now he's in trouble. The Scourge.
Such a good micro from Aeon. Like, only one Scorch connected overall, I think.
Oh my gosh, I thought he was in trouble, but now he's on top of the Mutas. He's flat out got more Mutas than Truacz right here. Truacz is gonna lose them all.
Oh my god. Okay, wow, I understand nothing about how this is gonna work. I thought Truacz was picking a fight on home turf with undodgeable Scourge that he could win. But somehow eOnzErG has such a huge advantage in the Muta count that not only does he micro in a Muta versus Muta, because he's got to control against the Scourge, he takes the Scourge hits and still kills the Mutas. Wow, that's... Also, his Mutas are just stronger than other Mutas because they don't die to 2 Scourge hit. I don't know. How do you explain this?
Yeah, eOnzErG's micro, incredible. When those Scourge came into his main initially and he splashed the Extractor to get a couple hits off, I've never seen that before. That's amazing. So, like, really sick. And then the micro right here where only 1 Scourge registered out of 4 or 6, that's amazing.
Does that count as micro? How do you do that? What?
Yeah, like, people that are watching, if you've never tried to do Muta Micro, it is not easy. It's probably the hardest thing to do in the game. So that was incredible Muta Micro from eOnzErG.
I don't know. It blows my mind. This is I'm gonna rename this replay so I can. Actually, I'm gonna have to download it first. Anyway, that was insane. This is why ZBZ is so sick, because you get to see just individual little micro moves really have a huge impact. So, I mean, we're only 2 games through a best of 5, and already you can see that both players are just like they're not just barely killing their opponent. They're just like, no, this is where I tell you to get out of my game. That Muta control from eOnzErG, so sick. But I'm really excited that we've got at least 2 more games to go.
Yeah, at least 2 more games, because now it's 1-1 score, right? So the next map will be Circuit Breaker, and I think that this is the most standard map, and it will be like 2 ways of spawning for the players, because they can be close to each other when they will both find each other, or they can be like, they can either both find each other, or neither of them will find any one of them. So yeah, this will be very interesting map, and definitely they played a lot of games over there.
Yeah, Circuit Breaker, probably the most popular map throughout the ladder. I think it's been in all the seasons so far, so they've got a ton of practice on here. And I'm specifically curious what eOnzErG is going to pull out here, because we've seen 12 hatch both games, so maybe now's the time to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you can go 12 hatch and then go 13 pull, a little bit more greedy. Like,
that is so greedy. Oh my gosh. And Zerg versus Zerg, that's unreal to me. Like, I would literally feel like you're literally flipping a coin. Like, that's favored towards, I guess, whatever you're against. Because if they do any type of pool build, you're gonna get punished so hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Imagine a Zerg doing a pool build. It's like, yeah, I think that's why that's not that common, because it's like if he like breathes slightly in your direction, you just fall over. So I think there would have to be like either you're mind gaming him in a best of 5, or there's some extenuating circumstance, because I don't know, those aren't good odds if you wanna win. So I can't wait. Game 3, I don't even know how to predict this. Obviously it's really volatile. I would say that it feels like when eOnzErG is in the groove, you know, when he hasn't had somebody throw it off, he's just so good.
Yeah.
But that was a game that was remarkably like passive early on. They both went for like 12 hatch pools, and just I don't know, there wasn't an early game, which is pretty weird in a ZVZ.
Yeah, but I think the most crucial moment was when Aeon transferred like 4 of his main base drone to the natural and baited Truacz and forced him to make a lot of links, because Truacz started with a sunken, so he wanted to play it a little bit more defensively. But after seeing these 4 drones in the natural, he decided, okay, I can outlink him, I can outnumber him in link number, and then he decided to invest a lot of links, and it didn't work. So it was also a brilliant move from Aeon to do that.
Damn. Okay. I am ready for game number 3-0.
Okay, so game number 3 on Secret Breaker. So 1-1 is the score, and we are going directly to the game. So spawning on the top right position as a white-ish ZZZero, we are having Truacz.
That's right, and his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner in the yellow is eOnzErG. They are cross spawns on the map Circuit Breaker.
Yeah, and like Zero was pointing out, they're both going to scout the same pattern, which means they're both going to scout each other last. So there is not going to be any advantage like we saw on Roadkill, and eOnzErG had a little bit of an advantage on Sylphid with his Overlord seeing the natural from Truacz pretty quickly. But yeah, we're just going to have to see what both of these players are going to pull out in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a cross scout or a cross spawn scout in ZVZ, because like what information are you gonna get if the guy spawns close to you? It's just like, well, okay, well, you just that sucks. So yeah, you've got to go for a close scout. In this case, both players will choose poorly in that regard. Let's take a look at the opening build. Looks like we are going to have just the straight up 9 pool there from Truacz, and on the other side, eOnzErG is going to go over pool. Theoretically, actually no, he's going all the way up to 12. Okay.
Yeah, and I like this play from Truacz because we've just seen 12 hatch every single time from eOnzErG. I would really like a 12 pull here. Please, 12 pull. Okay, that's nice because a lot of times players get into patterns like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this build over and over and over again. So if eOnzErG thinks that Truacz suspects that, this 12 pull is going to shut down this 9 pull, I think, pretty nicely.
And especially that it's cross position, so this 9 pull will be even worse now.
Yeah, so he's gonna have high ground advantage, Ling timing advantage. The only thing that Truacz is gonna have going for him is, again, his lair is gonna be considerably faster than eOnzErG's.
Yeah, and in that way you can kind of make up for the economic deficit that, or I guess the strategic deficit that going 9 pool gives you. Because maybe that's not the best opening build, but it gives you a leg up when it comes to phase 2 on the mutas. And, obviously, if you do go for this build and your opponent has a hatchery, maybe they're going to have a slower layer, but you do have to kind of take that out. And I love that he has actually sent his Lings by default cross positions, because I think he kind of knows, wait a second, that would be, unless he just goes close. And if you go close with 9 pool Lings, it's like, ugh. Well, we'll see. Okay, never mind. He took a turn for the worse, just like an Oregon Trail.
That's so bad. If you are going for 9 pull and miss scouting with the first 6 Lings, that's such a bad feeling, because the only good thing for Truacz is now he's droning up a little bit, and he started with the layer, not the speed. So these Lings shouldn't deal too much damage.
eOnzErG's got to be careful here because Truacz is going to have speed pretty soon, I think. And yeah, he's just flat out got more Lings than eOnzErG right now.
Oh, but very nice
does
micro.
he? Yeah, I think actually more HP was dealt, or more damage was dealt by eOnzErG there. I think he got a couple of the early hits, and Truacz's Lings didn't get that first initiative strike.
Yeah, but I think Truacz knows what's going on because his Lings were all the way across the map, basically when eOnzErG, was still on his side of the map. So I think Truacz, even though he hasn't scouted, has a good feeling of what's going on here. And again, I think eOnzErG also has a good feeling what's going on here. But yeah, there's that Spire. It is probably, what, like 250 or so? Yeah, it's almost halfway done, and the lair isn't even done for eOnzErG.
Yeah,
oof.
I don't think that eOn will be able to match the number of Mutalisks from Truacz, so he will be forced to defend on Evolution Chambers, I think.
Well, the best ZVZ I've seen aside from this one was eOnzErG versus Tai 2. And Tai 2 was able to have the sickest no-layer strat, or just play execution that I've seen, certainly out of anybody in BSL. He was just so comfortable at playing without that tech. It's just really remarkable. Now, let's watch eOnzErG. He's going to try to run in here. How many drones is he going to get? He's going to get at least 1, 2, 3. 4,
Yeah,
maybe.
a lot of drones. A
Oh,
lot of drones.
Gosh,
Only
he
6
killed so
drones
many
left.
drones.
Yeah, only
How
6
did he
drones left
even
on the
get
wall.
in? Like he had 10
just nothing
lanes
there.
that got in. Yeah, but Truacz had links on the ramp. And now look at what eOnzErG's doing. He's just flooding links. He knows that Truacz has to make a decision. Do I make mutas or do I make links? If he makes mutas, the DPS might just be too low for him to deal with non-stop links.
And by
Oh
having
yeah,
these
there's
links,
just not enough warm bodies here.
and he's forcing Truacz to stay at home, I think, with the muta. It's now, oh, now Truacz is going with the 1 muta, but now these links will deal so much damage. I don't know if he even survives that.
Yeah, he
This
can
is
just
just
even
GG,
focus the
right?
Spire. Oh, double sunken. Wow. But yeah, this Spire is under siege. Again, it's a little out of position. Full surround on the Ling Spire is potentially going to go down.
He killed it. So only
Oh my God.
3 mutas for Truacz overall.
Well, kind of unfortunately, eOnzErG is building 3 sunken colonies behind this, so obviously that is just going to make sure that there's nothing that Truacz can do. Critical damage dealt, and damn, eOnzErG takes a 5-minute and 35-second win in game number 3.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah, that's Zerg versus Zerg for you. If there's just even the smallest opening, if you have that killer instinct, you can just kill them. Like eOnzErG, I don't know how he got into Truacz's base, but that was so many links, and then he killed so many drones, and then he forced drone pulls, which means they're not mining, which means he can't produce a lot of units all at once, and he just kept flooding the links, and then to pick off the Spire, that's almost 100% game ending every time that happens.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how Truacz would have been able to stabilize there. But I had the same question you did, Nyokin. How did eOnzErG recall like 20 lings right inside Truacz's base? I don't know. I feel like as a Zerg, like the most important base defense characteristic is, can you keep lings from running in and killing all your drones? And there was nothing there to do that. So really great to kind of strike there from eOn to take game number 3 so decisively and put him on match point up 2-1 against Truacz in the semifinals of BSL5.
Yeah, he's only 1 match away from going to the grand finals. So if it's like after this best of 5 is the difference between 25 or minimum 100 prize pool. So it's they are playing for 75 bucks, I would call it minimum. 400 even, because it's 400 for the first spot. So that's really something.
Yeah, it's also both players are playing for pride here, because eOnzErG, I was looking at his profile, this would be his first grand finals in BSL, if I read correctly. And then Truacz would be potentially retaking his throne since he won BSL 1 and 2. So that is also very important to both of these players.
Yeah, but Truacz won BSL 1 and 2, but it was only for Polish people. So yeah, so overall.
Well, like Zero, like 3 out of 4 of the top 4 players are Polish, so I don't know if making it only Polish players makes it easier. It's like, no. Actually, most of the good players here, even in the round of 8, we had the majority Polish players, so it was still very hard for Truacz to win that tournament, even though it was region locked.
Yeah, and the region lock. Yeah, you're right. But now we are more international, not entertainment. But yeah, international. And by the way, I would like to use this opportunity to thank to Blizzard for sponsoring this event. They sponsored, they gave us $1,000 for the prize pool of BSL5. So huge hype for them. Don't forget to thank them when you will have opportunity.
Yeah, big thanks to Blizzard. And of course, we had a $100 donation earlier today. Yeah, it's just, lots of support, both official, unofficial. I don't know, it's just really awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. And as we are seeing on the overlay, eOnzErG is leading 2-1 versus Truacz. And if you are ready, guys, we can go to the game number 4.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so in the way of an eddy is our next map. So spanning on the bottom right position as a green Zerg, we are having Truacz.
And spawning on the opposite side of in the way of an eddy, in the light In the light green, or malachite, whatever you want to call that color, this is eOnzErG. I love it. If we could just get the game after this to be yellow versus orange, like that would also be a great color palette choice. I'm so happy that I'm going to be like leaning up against my monitor to pick out which pixels are slightly lighter or darker than the other one to tell who's going to win this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be difficult to distinguish the players from each other here. But this map, again, similar to Circuit Breaker, and both players are scouting exactly the same. So again, we're going to have a last scout from both players. And again, we're just going to have to wait and see what's the build order going to be, I think. Wow, eOnzErG, here we go. There's the 9 pull coming out from him. And like I was talking about, maybe Truacz thinks like, okay, we're just playing a macro ZVZ every single game. And no, eOnzErG finally switching it up here.
Yeah, excellent mind
That's
game.
sick mind games, yeah.
Yeah, so doing that kind of move. If Truacz will go for the 12 hatch, like only miss scouting by Aaron could save him, I think.
Okay, there's going to be the 12 pull. So Truacz is going more macro based, not committing to the 12 hatch, but still a little bit more macro based here. So it's going to basically be identical to last game, except the roles are reversed.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really gotten an opportunity to see what it's like when eOnzErG just puts the pedal to the metal and just goes with this aggressive 9-pool build. In the way of an Eddie, let's see, I'm trying to remember the rush distance here. I don't think it's the longest or the shortest. I mean, obviously it's not one of the 2-player maps. Those were both vetoed, and it's certainly not as long as cross-position Circuit Breaker, which is what we had in Game 3.
Well, it's pretty long. You do have to go back and then up a ramp.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that's
you're gonna
right.
have to go cross scout. So it's quite a long distance. So it's kind of surprising to me that eOnzErG decided to 9 pull here, because yeah, it's gonna be quite a long distance. Look, the pool's already done. Hatch is gonna be done. But yeah, at least eOnzErG will have the lair advantage. And okay, unfortunately, both players are going to miss scout with their lings.
There's this Overlord that's waiting right at the bottom left-hand corner, and it's going to see the lings here. So this is actually much better for Truacz, because he'll know that his opponent went for an aggressive ling build.
Oh yeah, and he immediately canceled the speed and started the layer, so he knows how to play against it. Because like these days, the players who are going for 9 pull, they are not going for the speed; they are going for the layer first. He's.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is really good for Truacz, right?
Wait, what?
Oh,
what just happened?
6 versus 6.
How did win that? No, that's not how that works.
What? Truacz had high ground advantage. He had concave advantage.
He hit first.
He hit first. I don't know what just happened.
Somehow links of Aeon are better.
Yeah.
Does Truacz just lose? Like,
What is
I feel
going
like
on?
What? This is so goofy. Like, are there any rules? And man, this is what I love about Brood Wars. Like, you could ask like any pro player who wins that situation, and it's just so unreal to see Eon come out on top. Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I have no idea what just happened there. eOnzErG got in. He at least sees the build order. He knows exactly what he's going up against. Of course, Truacz has an idea what's going up. Spire's halfway or near halfway done for Truacz, but Spire's almost done for eOnzErG. And since he traded so well with those lings, unlike last game where Truacz had to play defensively, eOnzErG isn't really in trouble to a ling counterattack.
And he mined 300 glass more, so he will be definitely have. Aaron will definitely have a muta count advantage. So without spores, I don't think that Truacz will be able to defend it.
Yeah, it's a good point, Zero, because even if you have the larva advantage, if you don't have the gas to make more mutas with them, it doesn't matter. And so kind of cute to see the hatch, or the, I guess, I forget how he got the. Oh, did he build and unbuild a sunken? Yeah, okay, so he's up 1 supply, but still the pressure is going to be on Truacz here. Where does he get the resources to make more mutas? I guess he can probably just has to play defensively from here on out.
Yeah, and this is a really cute sunken placement from eOnzErG. It's at the back of the minerals, which kind of blocks out a lot of the surface area onto the Spire if there was a potential ling run by. So that's very cute from him. On top of it, we saw in both games, both players went for a double sunken. Usually we only see one. So do you have any, knowledge on that, Zero? Why are we seeing double sunken here as opposed to just one sunken?
Yeah, I think it's like because like in the previous game on Circuit Breaker we saw that eOn made so many links that he could counter Truacz because he was only having only one hatchery, not too many larvas, and I think eOn wanted to be safe against this kind of idea that Truacz wouldn't go for the Mutalisk, for the tech, for the spare, for a lot of drones, but would go for the mass links build. And I think he wanted to be safe against it because he feels like the Muta battle he have secured because of the early mining gas.
A little bit of a win there for Truacz as he snipes off an Overlord. And obviously 100 minerals is a big deal in ZVZ where everything's so volatile. But neither player is really committing with their Mutalisks. Mostly just trying not to die to a Ling backstab. Just picking off these scouting Lings trying to run in. And actually eOnzErG's done a great job this like NSA Zerg where you just try to deny as much scouting as possible and keep your opponent from seeing that. Well, in fact, they're both actually going for the same thing, just trying to get this hatchery up. And I think he's gonna have enough time to do that, but it's a weird flex from ZVZ because I guess eOn realizes, hey, if I go 9, if I only get one hatch versus 2, eventually Truacz is gonna catch up.
Yeah, and it's a bit dangerous to go attack the main, especially on positions like this. You're so far away that if the other player got there just a little bit faster than you did, potentially they wipe out the entire drone line, they can come back and at least save some of them. So I think both players are just playing a little passive here. If you look at the vision for both players, there was almost none until now. But eOnzErG trying to put on the pressure a little bit here. We see he's got quite a gas bank, so I'm not sure if Truacz right now has the Muta Scourge advantage, but he might.
Oh, he's already... so I love what eOn does. He'll send his Lings in first, use the vision to clone the Scourge, and then run in because he did have a higher Scourge count than his opponent. And I think, actually, that was really good control. Still 8 Mutas left over after that, and so eOn's got to run home with 6.
That was a really nice micro from Truacz.
Yeah, incredible control from Truacz right there. I think only one Scourge hit, really. And he's got the Mutalisk advantage. He's got his Nat gas running. Nat just finished for eOnzErG. We were talking about how eOnzErG had potentially 300 more gas advantage than Truacz, but he's going to catch up right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Truacz with the natural gas. He's got 3 drones mining there. Is he actually making... Okay, so he's not going to actually make any more drones to mine there. Just going to have those 3. And in the main, as far as mineral drones go, it looks like it is 9 to... Oh, wow, only 6.
Yeah, and look at the supply. Somehow Truacz has skyrocketed in supply. And on top of it, he's got eOnzErG supply block. So if there's a bad trade right here, eOnzErG's not going to be able to remake units. He's going in right now. The Scourge, I don't think, have hit. But Truacz has got Scourge advantage right now.
Oh, what a micro from both players. This score just almost looks like they are useless because they are being picked off. Oh, but
so close. I think both players have even amount of mutas. Or eOnzErG, I think, is slightly ahead. He's putting on mutas, 1 left.
What? Does he have Carapace upgrade? Like what? How does he had less mutas in the beginning? Okay, I'm gonna leave this to you guys.
I don't know how it happened
here.
Because in the numbers,
we need some director commentary from eOnzErG.
It would be good, yeah, definitely. He's still not mining gas from the second natural, so somehow if Truacz will be able to hold on, it should be fine for him, but eOn is not making mistakes with the micro.
Yeah, but both players have done so well versus the Scourge that I'm not really worried for eOn now because we just seeing pure Scourge come out from Truacz. He hasn't gotten hit by a single Scourge yet.
Yeah, I think Truacz kind of panicked there, and he's like, I don't want to die, and he built nothing but Scourge. And obviously, if you can get those to land, then that's great, but if you can't, then, you're going to lose all of them and be even further behind. Actually, some really good connections there.
Yeah, good connections, but we still have 7 mutas left over. But look at this, just picking up Scourge 1 at a time.
What a god. Damn, this is so impressive to watch. I mean, the Sunkens are coming, or the Spores are coming up, but they won't be in enough position to cover the mineral line. There's still going to be massive losses taken. I think eOnzErG is just winning the game right here.
Yeah, he just obliterated the drone line, and he still is low on drones, but look at supplies now, 27 to 14. Don't know how this happened, but eOnzErG on the verge of knocking Truacz out.
And look at the brilliant move. He took 4 links because he knows that Truacz is making only drones and scourges right now. So these links will be devastating for Truacz.
Oh man, yeah, how do you even fight that? The Lings are going to kill the spores, and that means all the mutants have to do is just survive. And they do it. Great control there, eOnzErG. I still don't know how he won that mutant engagement. What on earth?
Oh, that's so impressive. And I guess we are having our first finalist. It will be Mr. eOnzErG joining, joining the grand finals, like taking a spot in grand finals. Huge congratulations to him. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, each one of those games had this this black magic moment where two things fight each other, and then who knows. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because it is so volatile. I think it could have come down to who hit more Scourge, and oftentimes it's kind of hard to tell that little tiny explosion animation about which player is gonna come out on top. But I love it because it's like when the two when the two characters fight each other in Dragon Ball Z, and the mere mortals watching that, they can't keep up. All they see is just explosions in the air, and then somebody wins at the end. I feel like that's kind of what I watched, just a whole bunch of explosions in the air, and then one player had more mutants. I'm like, oh, okay, that guy won, yeah. So I'm definitely one of the low power level humans watching the Z fighters fight here. I think maybe our second series is going to look pretty similar because these are all just players with power levels over 9,000.
Oh yeah, definitely. So if 10,000 is maximum, so yeah, Larva is 9,500 and these players are 9,000.
Well, either way, that was an incredible series. If you guys watched that, then you did the correct decision and can now message all your friends and tell them that they sucked for not watching and that they should come watch the second best